Okay, so this is the totally super awesome non-bullshit review of the Polarpro Trippler. Now I did a little wee sort of unboxing type video of this product a wee while ago, and I hadn't really used it yet. But recently I've had a chance to actually use this thing. So a quick little recap, if you haven't seen this product, you don't know what it is, it's a 3-in-1. It does telescopic, like that. It's got a ball head, so you can move around your camera, and it's got a tripod. Okay, looks cool, right? Well, there are some issues with this handle slash tripod thing, and I'll tell you about these now. But I'm going to come right off the bat and I'm going to say, should you buy this? Probably not. It tries valiantly to do several things, but it doesn't really do any of them well. Here's all of the problems that I've experienced with this thing. Firstly, the thing that you're probably going to use the most out of all of them is, you know, the telescopic rod. So you pivot it and you pull it out and then you tighten it and you've got your essentially selfie stick. Problem is, it doesn't always, you know, extend and collapse quite that easily. It's doing it alright right now because, you know, I've already done it several times prior to starting up this video, so it's already loosened. But quite often it'll get stuck at this point, at the two-prong point, and then you'll have to yank it, and then you'll finally get your third one come out. Then you'll twist it, it won't quite be tight enough, you've got to twist it a wee bit more, and then when you start twisting it, your camera starts coming loose off of this little screw on the top here. So that's one problem. Okay, another problem. Okay, this little plastic collar here unscrews so that this internal part here, which kind of functions as like the fourth section on the telescopic rod, can come out. Now you don't want to have it all the way out because it becomes wobbly. You only want to have it maybe halfway out or a third of the way out. Now if you've got it all the way down like this, and then you figure, oh, I'm going to put it in tripod mode, well, guess what? That doesn't actually work because, you know, you've got this bloody rod thing has got to actually pop up in order for the tripod to actually work. So what you find yourself doing is forever pulling this up a bit like this. So if you've got that pulled up a bit and then tightened, you know, you stick it in tripod mode, bang, no problem. But you're forever carrying it around like this, and now the bloody thing is perpetually about 3 inches longer than what it would normally be. So that, I think, is a bit of a nuisance. That's a bit of a problem. I don't really like that. And I suppose lastly, the little ball head on the top here. This does work, but it's not perfect, and I'll tell you why. It's got the one little cutout section on the front there, but it doesn't have the same little cutout section on the back. So it'll pivot, you know, up to 90 degrees one way, but it's only that one way. If you want to put it the other way, you'll have to loosen it and kind of spin the camera around. You actually find yourself reorienting the camera, which is a real nuisance. And lastly, the very last and one of the more annoying aspects to this product, the Polarpro Trippler, is the tripod here. Now, if you use this tripod and you pull them, you splay them all the way out like that, and you stick it on a perfectly flat surface, it's absolutely fine. That is no problem whatsoever. The problem is that when you're going to go and, you know, sticking it on a perfectly flat surface, like on a table or on the floor, doesn't happen all that often actually. Quite often you want to put it on the hood of a car, or on a post, or on a fence, or on something, or on a rock. Something that is just not quite stable. You also have these situations where, like if you imagine that this soft case here, and these are too wide, okay? So you start pulling them in a wee bit like this, and you want to sort of set it up like that. But now suddenly you've got this very narrow base here, and especially when this thing is up in the air, it is prone to fall over just like that. And the other annoying thing about these little tripod legs is, well, when they're splayed out like that at 100%, it's fine, but when you start pulling them in like this to actually make them more narrow, they start to become wobbly. And yeah, it's just not quite perfect. So, you know, the sturdiness of the tripod is not as sturdy as the Manfrotto tripod or the SP Gadgets tripod. The telescopic nature of the rod thing here is not quite as good as, you know, the telescopic rod of the SP Gadgets pole. I really hate this thing here that you've got to, you know, loosen, pull this thing out, put it back down, go pull it up a little bit like here so that you can use this. The ball head is not without its flaws. Okay, overall this product, it kind of works. Sort of. Kind of does the job. I mean, if you have absolutely nothing else with you, it'll work. Sure, it'll work if you've got nothing else. But, you know, if you're after durability, reliability, maybe you should try something else. I mean, I got this because I figured this was a one-and-all solution so that I could do away with the Joby goriullapod, do away with the little SP Gadgets tripod, and just use this. But, to be honest, this thing, it really has its own set of challenges. The Polarpro Trippler, it's just not quite there. It's not quite what I wanted. It's a good try though. Hope you found this video useful. This was an in-depth product review from a product that I've actually been using in the real world. I didn't just pull it out of the box and say, wow, look at this. I have used it. Look at this fucking thing. Now it's fucking stuck. It won't get back in its place. This is... See, now it's stuck. This is only just a few minutes after I recorded the first part of this video. Bloody hell, it's fucking stuck. And this fucking thing here is jammed. Oh. Jesus. Fucking hell. Alright, I got that in place. Look at, oh, now it's come out. Now, it still won't go down there. This thing's going in the fucking rubbish. It really is. Fucking rubbish. So long, Polarpro Trippler, I hardly knew ye. What?
Well, look at you.
What?
Genius.
Well, I'm doing a review on the tripod. I need to put it up on stuff. I've got the camera sitting on a power bank, a plastic container of fish oil, and then a noodle cup.